All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today we are going to be talking about this curious little Sony Walkman that one of my fellow friends on YouTube was kind enough to send to me. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the unit. I'm also going to share his channel as well, just in case y'all are interested. This came from my friend Danny. He mostly on his channel he talks about like vacuum cleaner repair, other niche topics like that. But if you like my videos, I think you'll like his as well. So thank you so much to him for sending this over to me. This is a really cool item that has pretty much just been sitting on my shelf. It's been like, it might have even been as long as a year ago. I'm not sure. It's been a minute. I've had this since I was in my last apartment. I don't really know that much about Walkmans, to be honest with you. I do remember my parents having like a million CD Walkmans sort of like scattered about, and my mom actually called many things, including MP3 players, Walkmans for a really, really long time. So the name itself is familiar, but as some of you may know, I'm not the most into cassettes. However, I do have a couple cassettes that we can also check out. This is the model WM-FX21. This was sold just as a model by itself, but you may have noticed that this particular Walkman has a rather unique feature to it, and that is in fact this Pizza Hut logo that is curiously placed right in the corner here. When I initially started doing some research about this particular unit, which Danny also gave me some information as well, I was kind of thinking that this was some sort of promotional gift or something similar to that, and that's kind of where I fall now as well, because you definitely could get this model by itself without the Pizza Hut logo. It was completely available, and from my dating of this with the user manual, this is from the early 90s. 1993 is the copyright that I have on the official Sony user manual. So he originally got this Walkman off of eBay, and it came from Wisconsin. So that is the information that I have on this. I mean, I scoured the internet sort of looking for something else, and I really didn't get too much, honestly. But also, I am not super hip on where to go for Walkman information. Pizza Hut is also something that I personally love. I still eat Pizza Hut, and hot take, I actually think that it's way better than Domino's. That's just my humble opinion, but I really do enjoy the aesthetic, especially like the older Pizza Hut vibe with the buffet and the darker lighting, and of course those iconic chandelier lamps that they had hanging over the booths. I do remember Pizza Hut being involved in a lot of strange marketing things as a kid. Definitely like fundraising was a big thing for them, and I'm sure they did a ton of giveaways. Pizza companies tend to be a little bit more niche and strange in that way, so I'm sure that this was some sort of, contest of like, submit this or share this and you'll win this fabulous Pizza Hut Walkman, and it just ended up in my possession now. So I am going to get a little bit more up close and personal for you all. I said this in the last video, but I apologize in advance for my horrible nails. They're even worse than in the last video. I just can't get these two to rip off, so I just drew more attention to them, but yeah, it's a mess. But this one is a radio and also a cassette player as well. So you have the tuner up here for the radio. It's also got one of those, sort of gimmicky systems that most retro tech of the older years have. This is mega bass technology. It has 2 times the bass expansion circuit, and this is like a little dial that you can adjust to sort of turn up the mega bass. Also, something sort of cute and interesting about the mega bass here, if you can see when you flip it to turn it on, you just get this little yellow line here that indicates if it's on or not. Looking at the top of the unit, we have, of course, a headphone jack, we have a tuner, and it looks like more volume. So actually, now that I'm looking at this is probably more of the mega bass controls, which is actually really cool that you do get, a little bit more customization with your bass. This is like adjusting your car bass or turning it up when you're in the car with your stereo system. But the volume button is here. We also have, I think this is for AM and FM. What does this say? Yeah, I think this might be for AM and FM. And then this just says off 1 2 AVLS. I do not exactly know what that means. Like I said, Walkmans are not my bread and butter, but this one is just still so cool. On the back, you've got your little clip, so you could clip this onto your pants. It says release, so, lift. The plastic's probably a little brittle, it's so old, but allegedly, oh, did I just, oh, no, okay, it was supposed to come off like this. Allegedly, like, you could clip this back on and off. This is pretty inconvenient, though, so I don't know, maybe that's how they all are. We also have the logo down here with the model number, and then of course this little guy just takes 2 AA batteries, so I am going to go siphon 2 AA batteries from my Wii remote, pull some cassettes, and we can take a peek at this little guy. Alrighty, so we are back. I've got some AA batteries installed in this Walkman, and I was actually also just doing a little bit of research. I was able to find the user manual, not for a Pizza Hut model, because like I mentioned earlier, I really think that this was added after the fact, because I've only been able to find this particular Walkman with just the model number, and there's, you know, no Pizza Hut mentioned at all. But I was able to find it on the Sony website, which is really great, especially Sony in particular as a brand doesn't do the best with legacy kind of stuff. So I was really shocked to see this owner's manual here. And the model number does match the user manual that I found. So that's really, really cool. I definitely needed it because, like I've mentioned, I really do not have a lot of experience with Walkmans. They are not something that I've ever really thought to use. And one of the things that I've found quite curious, and I've looked through the manual, I don't know how I would have possibly missed this. I still can't quite figure out the power situation for something like this, because there's no, like, power button, you know, you just kind of pop the batteries in and it starts working. So I don't know if it's just one of those things that runs constantly, or if they just don't have the ability to have power buttons. I mean, it seems like such a crazy thing that I should be able to find this really easily, but I haven't been able to. I initially thought that this one thing here, this automatic volume limiter system, this right here, this little guy, I thought that this could have been related to power, but it definitely isn't. It is just to kind of keep the regulation of the audio from being too loud for your ears. There's actually quite a few mentions in the user manual about being considerate of others and not having your music too loud so you're not distracted, which is super funny and very interesting in our modern age. It also mentions that listening to music at high volumes is bad for your hearing, of course, so this seems to be something that Sony was quite mindful of. There is also the ability to use an external power source. I also found this out through the manual. So there is a DC jack right here where you can plug this into some sort of power adapter. I have some options for this, but really they're only in the car, and I kind of just don't. This is supposed to be like a short and sweet video, first of all, and second of all, ever since I accidentally fried out my Barbie boombox, if you saw that video, basically what happened was I purchased it from an eBay seller. They sent me a power adapter that in my very distant childhood memory looked like the power adapter that I also had as a child, but it turned out it was too many volts, the voltage was too high, and it frickin' blew. It fried it, basically. I still have it because maybe one day I would like to do some repairing on it, but I'm really paranoid about that after that. And I mean, of course, I should have just checked the voltage initially, but overall, the alternative that I found, and hopefully, you know, this is not going to be a V Westlife quality rendition of the audio quality, and really I'm not necessarily here to give a review on the audio quality, because also this is like the first Walkman that I've interacted with in probably 15 to 20 years, and the Walkmans that I used growing up were all CD based, so I have no frame of reference for this, no starting point to say if the audio is good, bad, or just kind of the same. Danny told me I think that this needs a belt, it needs something, so I'm trying to be super cautious with testing it for that reason as well. However, something that I thought was very unique and advantageous and sort of shocking, and I think this is my lack of experience, honestly. Maybe this was standard practice by the early 90s, but the fact that it just has a simple AV headphone jack, auxiliary, you know, headphone jack is really great, because I'm able to plug this directly into my Beats. These are ironically beat up because I wear over-the-ear headphones so frequently. It's something I do a lot in the house, mostly actually. When I get overstimulated, I just pop these babies on. So with that being said, I am going to take the mic. Can you see me? No. I'm mic'd up here, as I always am. I'm going to take the mic and I'm going to hold it up next to the headphones so you guys can hear some of the audio. We're gonna play some tapes as well, but the first thing I did was play with the radio, since I know that that's, you know, definitely for sure gonna work. I do also have a selection of tapes. Some of these I'm not going to be able to play on camera because of copyright, which is unfortunate. But also I guess this is just a little opportunity to share with you all some of the tapes that I do have. I've grown a little bit of a collection over the last few months. So I have Mariah Carey's music box. I also have Whitney Houston's self-titled album. This is a great one. Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. I am a huge fan of this album. I just love it to death. And then I also brought this Prism tape. This is music that I recorded myself on my Toshiba boombox. If you remember, you remember. That's an older video I did as well. But this is just some of like music that I made. It's like not, I'm not saying it's good music, it's just music that I can play without having to worry about someone on YouTube coming for me. And then this is a sealed cassette. I don't know why I brought this. I must have gotten confused. And then I have my throwaway cassettes, you know, like the miscellaneous religious ones. Not this one. This one is Mariah Carey Emotions. Not that one. These two here. Oh, What a Savior. Angels. We Have Heard, a collection of Christmas music with hammers, dulcimers, flutes, and guitars. So really just like getting into the good stuff here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I looked through the user manual. It's very basic. There's nothing really like special or exciting in it other than the DC input and also the volume limiter that I talked about earlier. So yeah, let's do this.
Guy from the Undealership, Fred Caldwell. Martin McKinley, and it's February, the month of the big game, the month of President's Day. Hey, speaking of which, what is old is new again with the president, and you can sort of make that same statement when it comes to automobiles of Fred Caldwell.
It cuts out a lot. Also, I kind of want to choose things that are talking so I don't get copyright claimed, but please, for the love of God, know that I don't endorse anything that's on this radio. It's just with playing.
On the new 2025 Silverado Crew Cab.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. We've talked about the amazing camera angles the Silverado has, but now the multi-flex tailgate?
Basically, if you can think of any way to improve loading, unloading, and accessing the cargo bed, the multi-flex tailgate has you covered.
Again, check it out at FredCaldwellChevy.com.
Anytime, reach out to me directly, 704-534-1014.
And together, let's drive to the Undealership, Fred Caldwell Chevrolet in Clover.
Are you a weekend warrior athlete, passionate about your game, but sidelined by nagging injuries? Introducing Shockwave Therapy, your key to getting back in the game faster, stronger.
The FM definitely struggles a little bit, and I have noticed I've gotten a pretty decent signal, but then if I sort of like move the radio like this way or the Walkman this way towards me, it will sort of like cut out a little bit. Radio is not something I'm really that into either, so I'm sure there's a reason for that. It could be age, could be size, but just something to note.
We thank you so much for the support that you already provide to this radio ministry. Show you, you crappy old water heater.
What the fuck? I think we've gotten a taste of it. Overall, I'm not someone that listens to the radio generally, so that's definitely more of a novelty situation. So the next thing I'm going to do is see if we can get a tape going. The first thing you need to do, which I did learn, is switch it over to tape settings. So it's ready. And let me also put the mic back on and just show you the mechanism, because I didn't do that. Danny, being a fellow retro techie person as well, has taken really good care of this Walkman. So the buttons are in pretty good condition. You just sort of open this chassis here, and can you see? There you go. It's very nice and clean. well cared for, as you can see. Replacing this would probably, like doing any sort of repairs on this would probably be a little tough for me just because it's a small, confined thing, and I am not the best when it comes to working on cassette. It's really ironic because I work on VCRs all the time, and that is a no-brainer, no problem. I caught on to that really quickly. But for some reason with cassettes, I don't have the same level of confidence. I don't really even know how to put them in right into here. Let me pull up this user manual again. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. The tape reader mechanism's right there. So yeah, you put it right in there. Okay, let me take my mic off and see if we can get it to play. It's definitely spinning. This is really cool. The portable cassette aspect of it is definitely the coolest part. You can see the mechanism is spinning. I hear something. It's fading in and out. I don't know if that's the tape or if it is the mechanism, but again, Danny already mentioned to me that this thing needs some sort of servicing, so that's not a surprise to me. Like, I knew that going into it. It's not eating the tape though, which was my big concern. So I think what we can do is just take one for the team and see if my music... Oh, my light just died, I think. Yeah. Sorry, my light just died, so we'll have to... Let me turn on an overhead light. I don't really think that we need to interrupt this video just for lighting. I showed you what I wanted to show already, lighting-wise. But yeah, let's go into my Prism tape here. I know what's on this tape because it's my own music, so I can hear it cutting in and out. I'm sure Danny's going to comment on this as well, so I'll definitely pin his comment. I don't think it's the belts. I think I'm misremembering, and I'm so sorry, Danny, if you watch this whole video and you're like listening to me and being like, no, that's not what I told you. This is a really long time ago, so I think something else must be wrong with this. Something in terms of like how the tape actually reads, like something isn't reading it fully, because like it, as you can hear, it's sort of cutting in and out a little bit. But you know what? This is really cool, and this was my first time experiencing a Walkman, a cassette Walkman, first of all, let alone one with such a cool logo and such a unique sort of pull to it. So I hope you guys found this video interesting. If you have any experience with the Pizza Hut Walkman, let me know. Once again, go subscribe to Danny, check out his content. He's a really cool person, and thank you again for sending me this little guy. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, please comment. It really helps my channel out, especially because I tend to take bigger breaks in between posting, mostly because I just like want to prevent the chances of me being inauthentic. So when I feel like posting, I will record and I will post, but if I don't, then I won't. So what kind of helps me in the meantime when I'm not making content is subscribing, liking, and commenting, because it just reminds YouTube that I am a channel that should continue to be recommended, so you can keep seeing new videos from me. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope this was interesting for you. Bye bye.